It is a tradition. Every single game that the 49ers play on the road, I will climb to the very top row of the stadium. This is my 9th season covering San Francisco. Season opener here from Lumen Field in Seattle is coming up in just a couple of hours, and here we are on the very top row of the stadium. You could take a look at the Puget Sound, and I've always wondered how they got this truck up there. They use a crane. It seems like it'd be hard to drop it in there with a crane. And there's a different car up there every year too. That's one of the great mysteries that maybe we'll solve, maybe we won't, over the course of this show. There's the downtown Seattle skyline. There's the artificial surface here in Seattle. Christian McCaffrey is expected to play for the 49ers. The first player on the field for San Francisco was the kicker, Jake Moody. Maybe we'll get McCaffrey out onto the field over the course of our little pregame show here from what had been a house of horrors for the 49ers. But Brock Purdy is 3-0 here. San Francisco hasn't lost in Seattle since 2021. In many ways, Brock Purdy solidified his status as the 49ers quarterback of the future in Seattle Thursday night, 2022. He had just broken his rib about 4 or 5 days before against Tampa Bay in his first start, and the 49ers weren't sure if Brock Purdy was going to be able to throw a football, let alone start the game against Seattle to clinch the division for the 49ers. But Brock, the day of the game, the night of the game, proved that he would be ready to go. He was in a lot of pain. He really wasn't able to throw all too far downfield, but he gutted it out and led the 49ers to a victory on this field, and they clinched the division in 2022. One of the great stories in NFL history. Mr. Irrelevant coming out of nowhere in that 2022 season. If you remember, it was Jordan Mason who effectively sealed that game for the 49ers with a big run at the very end that was moving away from the camera here toward the end zone behind me in front of that downtown Seattle skyline. Then in 2023, the 49ers came back on Thanksgiving night and ate turkey on the field behind me. And in 2024, even despite the down season, 49ers came in here week 6. Malik Mustafa had an interception. Renardo Green had an interception covering DK Metcalf, who is no longer with the Seahawks, and the 49ers won 36-24. So Brock Purdy, one of the winningest quarterback, road quarterback here in Seattle in NFL history at 3-0. He's got an undefeated record. Again, for 49ers fans who have watched this for quite some time, that is significant indeed, because it had been almost impossible to win in Seattle for the 49ers. You can obviously go back to the tough years of 2012 to 2014 in the Jim Harbaugh era. They won in 2011 with Alex Smith, but they did not win 2012 to 2014, including the 2013 season NFC Championship game. All the fans today are, well, except for the fans in, well, no, I guess everybody's getting it. This row, these are their cup holders. They get these little Lumen green pom-poms. So that's why you see a lot of green in the stands, because everybody's going to be waving some of these. The title sponsor of the stadium gets in on it here with the pom-poms for week 1. 49ers, Seahawks, San Francisco, slight favorites over Seattle. Christian McCaffrey will play, just in case you're joining us. Sam Darnold is the new starter for the Seattle Seahawks. Mike McDonald is their second-year coach. This crowd, by the way, even though they've got these green pom-poms for everybody, 53% of the crowd is expected to be wearing 49ers colors today, which is a first in 49ers Seahawks history. I think it might be a first in Seahawks history that they are outnumbered by the visiting team's fans in this stadium. So if you want to talk about things changing over the course of time, well, we know that the 49ers and their fans travel extremely well, but the fact that it sounds like they're going to take over Seattle today, I think is very, very significant, because that is a novelty. Now, if you want me to, for the most of the game here, let's preface with this. For most of the game, I'm going to be inside the press box, which is on the other side of the truck, which somehow magically got up on top of the tower here. But I'm going to be enclosed inside the press box. If you want me to, I will go out into the wild here, like I am right now. Maybe not all the way to the top of the stadium, but I will go out to outside the glass of the press box, and I will get a gauge on how loud the crowd sounds, both for the 49ers offense and for the Seattle offense. Because the thing about Seattle is, do you guys see the overhang here? Do you see how it's kind of curved like a parabola? You remember parabola from some of your high school math classes? Maybe this one is easier to see. This was an accident, but they built the overhang to protect against the rain. There's a 40% chance of rain today. As you can see, it's gray here in Seattle as a plane is either landing at Boeing Field or at SeaTac Airport. You can see that plane flying overhead. But they wanted to protect a lot of the crowd from the rain. But what ended up happening is a secondary effect in that the sound created by the crowd would reverberate back onto the field because of the curved parabolic nature of the overhang. So that's why this place has gotten so loud. I know that the 12s give themselves a lot of credit, but the design of this stadium, which is accidental in terms of sound, actually deserves more credit. Well, today, the 49ers are going to have the majority of the crowd by the Vivid Seats projection. So I'm guessing that both the Seahawks and the 49ers are going to have to use a silent count in this game. The last time I remember that happening in a regular season game was in Las Vegas, New Year's Day of 2024, but the 2023 season, when the 49ers and the Raiders both had a lot of fans in the stadium, and both teams had to actually use a silent count over the course of that game. I predict that that's going to have to be the case today, and if you want me to, just comment, give me a thumbs up, whatever, in the chat section. Let me know if you want me to head outside during the game and kind of get a feel for how loud it is when the Seahawks are on offense and the 49ers fans are going to be making all that noise, because I think it's going to be very, very, very loud in here for both teams. And that's exciting. That's the kind of environment that you want. Division game, season opener, beautiful stadium. This has always been one of my favorite stadiums in the NFL. It's got the downtown setting, as you can see behind me. I love the skyline look. It'd be cool if the 49ers had something like this with downtown San Francisco. But Seattle, good city to eat in. We had the great crab Benedict today. I wonder if the crab came from the Puget Sound, which you could see over here. You could also see the baseball stadium called T-Mobile Park now. It used to be Safeco Field. That is where the Seattle Mariners play. That right there is the media parking lot. You can see Mount Rainier on clearer days, but it's not very clear today. We could pan over to see the field right now. 49ers not out there for warm-ups yet. I guess a few guys are out on the sideline preliminarily, but warm-ups are going to begin in probably, an hour? I think we still have a couple hours before kickoff. So why didn't everybody enjoy the 10 a.m. games, the early morning slate of games? As you know, this is a tradition. We're going to do it next week from New Orleans as well. Top row of the stadium every single week. 49ers, Seahawks coming up. Everybody, thanks for watching. And everybody, make sure that you do enjoy the game. Oh, and subscribe, because we're almost at 100,000. Real subscribers. Talk to you guys soon.